One night, I was going through my woods. The dusk was approaching, and I start to see the 10th planet and some other stars in the night sky, forming a constellation. The woods are dense in this part of Georgia. I have many hunting cams all over, even up to 70 feet. In some of the trees, explorers and such are allowed to go through at night. I go through the woods every night to check things out, and I have a strange feeling all of a sudden something is watching me secretly. I hear owls and wildlife running and see it's getting dark, and I realize I gotta get back. And then I see a guest. It's a man with a hoodie from a distance that appeared to be extremely tall. I say hello and ask if everything is okay, and I blink and he vanishes. I go inside and go to sleep, and then I go down to dreamland. I dream I am in a giant graveyard with people thrilled to come here, and I am perplexed. I walk further and see a black, floating apparition that reminds me of a fly swatter, and it looks like an upside down yield sign as its head, and it has a black hoodie on. It was the same hoodie as the man in the woods, and it had insane eyes, an intense stare, and asked me if I wanted some business. Its eyes got even wider and insane and crazy looking and terrifying. I look and I see from a distance that clowns are walking further, closer to this graveyard I'm in, and they're coming towards me. I look behind me in a tree, and I nearly faint in this nightmare when I then see a terrifying thing, a creature with a cloak on its head, with glowing laser eyes, with a void for a face, and was all black in a white cloak. It obviously has wings. I can see it. I then wake up, sweating. It's 3 a.m., and I get a text from my friend that was hunting that night in the woods. He saw another one of our companions staring at one of the tall trees in a daze, and he goes by him to see what's wrong, tries to get his attention. Then he yells, "Run!" And I can hear a buzzing, a humming noise from my house. They both come back safely, and they sleep on the couch in the guest room. In the morning, I go to check the trees, hunting cams, and my heart starts racing when I see the same moth-like creature in the nightmare that I had in this tree. Multiple tree cams caught this sighting. With some research, I have learned more about this Moth-man that has been spotted like a grim reaper during terrible disasters and catastrophes in the United States. I was having A busy day at work, and I was finally glad to get off from being a manager at a submarine company called Abyssal Gate. I was the only female manager, and right before this incident happened, we all were trying to convince the CEO that the submersible needed more inspection, and he was considering it. So work was over, and I get into my car and get home. I wash up and then go out on an evening walk. The stars and planets are brighter this night in the indigo abyss. It's a warm California evening with a cool breeze. The trees and leaves are blowing around in the neighborhood, and I hear crickets. I see a strange shooting star that looks like a spaceship, and I get slightly uncomfortable because I was walking in that very direction by the palm trees and the Hansel Bridge. It's a bridge with a pathway full of palm trees. I eventually go into that direction. There were some homeless people as usual. Everything was going smooth as I walked halfway in the palm tree part of the bridge. When I see my friend, we make conversation for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, she freezes with fear and is staring behind me. My blood runs cold and my legs feel weak. I turn around and I see red, glowing eyes staring back at me from the palm tree. Her and I were frozen with fear. It was a gargantuan, black-like creature, like a void, with a very bizarre texture, and a small head with smiling teeth. We both start gaining our composure as it starts revealing its wings. They weren't of a large wingspan. It was like a moth almost, but it was very tall. We both watched in pandemonium as it flies from one palm tree to another. We get out of there and it disappears into the night. We get back to my house. We have some homemade tacos I made. It's been months since this incident, and we haven't seen it since. I was in the Rockies. It was a nice Sunday, and it was warm. I went with my friend Jane to the service. It was good. There was an interesting interview with the guy from the Old Spice commercials at the service. We go through the mountains to get back to my place. Us ladies hung out and watched the football game. And then we hear some strange bird noises from the front. It sounds like a chirping bird. We go outside and slowly open the door to see movement in the bushes. What comes out is a photographer with a bird calling whistle. He was simply taking pictures of birds for a calendar in the National Geographic society. We go back, and time passes. Our team won the game, and we were about to see the samurai movie. And we both see a black, furry creature with feathers and red glowing eyes staring at us from the outside, crawling on the ceiling of the back patio. It was all hunched and spread out with moth-like wings, and tall, very tall. I rebuked it in the name of Jesus, and it starts flying around eccentrically. I rebuke it again, and it starts making creeping noises. A third time, I did it and rebuked it, and black smoke appeared, and it vanished. We went to the movie. It was very good. The rest of the evening and the night. Neither of us saw this creature at dinner or ever again. And I am thankful, and I hope to never see the mysterious Moth-man again.